city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu, and I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and plan to getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me, I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah,
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That trade season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I put first, if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on to the hearse. Party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete. I'm a verbal athlete, deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
That it looks like the eviction moratorium just got extended to January 15th, yes?
Yeah. So, and sorry about that, but yeah, eviction moratorium extended until January 15th, 2022.
Yeah, you know, one of the biggest messages that we keep putting out here is if you can pay your rent, pay your rent. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a debt that you are going to be owing. And if you can make sure that that debt is less than it needs to be, then please make sure that you guys are making those payments. Omari, you were talking about the fact that there's going to be some resources available for people. The courts are doing some things. So actually, you know, take advantage right now.
Yeah, my position on this is that if you can pay your rent, pay your rent. If you can pay part of your rent, pay your rent. I know that, and you know, everything is really different in different parts of America, and even right here in Seattle, you know, we're our own unique case, and especially people in our community, Black community here. There's not a lot of Black property owners that are actually landlords. You know, that percentage is small. You go to other parts of the country, you go back down south. I was just down there, you know what I'm saying, visiting family and been all these other places, Houston, everything else. It's a lot of Black people who are the actual landowners, you know, and who are the landlords and everything else. And these are second homes, or this is somebody's primary source of revenue and everything else. It's a bad kind of relationship in the city of Seattle per se, and in a sense, in certain sectors where renters and landlords. But we can't forget as well that, there's a lot of people across our city who are small landlords who, worked their whole life, was able to purchase another home. They're renting the home out. And I'm still waiting for details on this release here, but, I doubt there's any relief especially for small landlords and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is why a all-around approach is necessary. This is something that is hitting the entire nation. And as I mentioned yesterday, when we were talking about this topic, ultimately, there's, when you think about the resources that are there and the capacity that's there to actually do the evictions themselves, the actual evictions, right? You're talking about needing a large amount of resources that aren't actually there in majority of our states across this country. And so there is going to need to be, in my mind and in my opinion, you guys, a federal mandate around this, because COVID is hitting everybody. I understand that we're getting stimulus packages, for families, but really there needs to be something that's very specific about direct understanding or new way of dealing with all of these folks that are back on their rent. It's got to be something that's at a higher level, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, we can do. Well, like I said, we'll have more details here in a bit on this, but definitely for sure. January 15th, 2022. So it was a lot of people. Like I said, month was getting ready to come to an end. And thank you for everybody here. And Mr. Director, that's why you got to pay attention to these people in the comments over there, because they tell you right away. They're like, hey, there's something that's up. So thank you for that. Apologize for a technical issue right there. Let me hop back into it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. And want to remind you, right now is a great time for you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share this stream with people who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College, and also the South Seattle Emerald. Want to remind everybody that you can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And he's got SoundCloud right there on the screen right now. But you can also go to Google, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network, right? Also, very important, the COVID-19 vaccine is readily available in King County. We'll put a link in the comments there. If you need to get vaccinated here in King County, we'll go ahead and click this link, and you can find a vaccination location that's close to you. I want to remind you, the vaccine is free. If someone's telling you to Cash App or Venmo for a vaccine, so bad. You know what I'm saying? Tell them you already got the hookup. In some cases, you can even come to your home. You can get vaccinated in your home as well. But the vaccine is out there, readily available. And as we talked about the other day, Trey Holiday, to move around and really move and groove like you want to here in King County in a few weeks, man, you got to be vaccinated.
Yeah, it's getting serious out here. There's more and more places that are adding to that list saying, look, man, if you guys want to come and enjoy our establishment, you got to show us your papers. It's just crazy because, you think about different moments in history where there was this, regulation around, hey, show us your papers. And now people are like, okay, hey, at least I got my papers. Or people that don't have them are like, see, knew they was going to be talking about showing the papers. So this is such a polarizing discussion. It continues to be polarizing because honestly, when more and more information comes out or these restrictions are coming out, basically it's all people all over the country, all over the world trying to adjust to what COVID has brought into our laps. And this is one of those things. I'm not shocked that these discussions are happening and that it's also creating these real distinct, different levels of discussion between those who are vaccinated and those who are not.
Yeah, no, for sure. October 25th here in King County is the date. That's when the second set of rules come in as far as where vaccination or proof of vaccination is going to be required in our county. Let me see what we got over here. We keep switching up this set. We got about 2 weeks left and we're going to unveil this whole new set for you here. So by the way, if you're watching at home, you're like, man, 1 week is this and that, because we're building out the different parts of the studio. So we're migrating around the studio. There you go. Here we go. Quote of the day. Brother Bob Marley. Love the life you live. Live the life you love. Yeah, I think that's just overall good advice for any situation.
You know what? It's one of those things that you can put in your back pocket on the daily basis. You know, I realize that so many of us, we are burdened down by other things. But when we think about all of the things that really bring us beauty in our life, it should almost always trump all the negativity. I love what Bob said there. It is so important for us to remember on a daily basis, man. Just love the skin you're in. They say, love the life you're living. I love that.
Yeah, no, good stuff. All right, so actually, let me do this. This is some crazy. Well, we talked about it yesterday. Let's start with a national headline right here from CBS Mornings now. We changed the name of CBS Mornings. It's an update from the Haitians down there on the border, the Texas border.
The Biden administration also faces questions over troubling new images from the southern border. These are Border Patrol agents on horseback rounding up Haitian migrants who are seeking asylum in the U.S. Thousands of people are camped near a bridge in Del Rio, Texas, close to the Mexico border. Politicians from both parties are slamming the government response. Manuel Bojorquez is in Del Rio. Manuel, good morning.
Good morning. Deportations are being sped up with 1 to 3 flights a day departing from the U.S. to Haiti. And an additional 600 federal agents have been sent to this section of the border to help. But an incident involving Border Patrol on horseback has the Department of Homeland Security investigating.
It is tragic and it is heartbreaking.
After seeing the camp where thousands of mostly Haitian migrants are waiting near the U.S. border, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas issued this stark warning.
If you come to the United States illegally, you will be returned.
And in one case, an agent on horseback can be seen grabbing the shirt of a migrant, appearing to whip him as he desperately tries to escape. But Mayorkas was also asked to respond to images like these. Border Patrol agents on horseback seen trying to keep migrants from crossing into the country. As one group tried to pass, an agent said this.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security called the footage extremely troubling and said DHS is investigating the matter.
Aquí a los Estados Unidos, how difficult was that journey?
Some of the migrants who do qualify for asylum have been allowed in, like Ralder Valsan.
And why did you leave? ¿Por qué saliste de Haití?
Porque mi país no tiene buena seguridad.
There's no security in Haiti.
Sí, por eso salimos y a buscar más vida.
Looking for a better life, una mejor vida.
Sí.
Javier Martinez Jr. is a lifelong resident of Del Rio. He says citizens in his city fear possible shortages of medical care.
We are a population of 35,000 or more. Now we're accommodating over 10, 13,000 more. Our little H-E-Bs, our little Walmarts are not, at capacity for that. So our shelves are being a little empty now.
Martinez says the closure of the international bridge connecting Del Rio, Texas to Ciudad Acuña, Mexico is having an economic impact because workers from Mexico who are allowed to work here and cross daily into the U.S. are unable to do so, and some businesses are finding it difficult to operate. Tony?
Manny, thank you very much.
Oh man, this is just a host of issues dealing with this border issue right now. And honestly, yesterday it just felt like these were the beginnings. And now the fact that there's going to be some investigations around the tactics being done right there at the border. You know, we saw the pictures. There was so much. It was flooding my timeline. It was all over because people are like, really? This is how we're treating people? This is how we're doing it? I think that there always can be a better way when you really center the fact that let's think about that person as your family member, an extension of your family, an extension of your community. And when you have that understanding, you maybe would move a little differently. But we saw it there, officers on horseback grabbing some of the Haitians. This is something that, it was like if they're just trying to control the border and maybe do some kind of crowd control, there's another way to do that. And I understand that the influx of individuals into any town, any city is going to cause another ripple effect. So how do we deal with that? Because ultimately at the center of this, it should be about caring for people. But I also understand there's a balance between it in terms of, identifying how why people are coming over. I think the general consensus is it's clear a lot of them will probably have very much the same story. That man there was talking about there's no security in Haiti. There's, he's looking for a better life. If you almost ask anyone who was trying to come over, you're going to hear these stories replicated. So it's just really interesting how we're dealing with this. And I think it's such a delicate time.
Yeah, I think that I choose a different word. I think that it's not interesting. I think it's horrible what's occurring there. And this is something that you've even got Republicans and Democrats in Washington, D.C. and everybody in between who's like, man, this is horrible. And I mean, for sure, every country has borders, there's rules, there's this, that, and everything else. But man, the what we saw right there, and the fact that the Secretary of Homeland Security, he's, his whole thing is like, yeah, just, you're not going to get in. You're going to turn around. You're not. I mean, that's their position. They're flying right out. They're taking flights, sometimes up to 3 flights a day, and they're repatriating people back to Haiti. And, regardless of circumstance, like if your whole family left, well, who might you have there? Will people still be there? And once again, we see that clearly this is when you got 13, 14,000 people living in the way that these Haitians are living there. It is a crisis. But even in crisis, there has to be a way to be able to manage it much better than that. And the total, disregard, man. I mean, these images coming out of Texas are awful.
They really are. I mean, this is one of those things where, you think about the general discourse over something like this when we think about immigration and when we think about, people seeking asylum. We think about all of the reasons why America is what it is because we do try to do things differently here, right? When we're talking about accepting people from other nations, countries that, there is war torn, it's this and that, economic crisis, all of these things. But really, we can always learn the lesson when it comes to care at the end of the day. And it's just not being utilized in this situation. We're not seeing it. I mean, you're talking about people that are, you're just not coming in, flying them right back, and right back to what? And there's this middle ground a little bit, because it's like, okay, every nation's issue isn't America's issue. And I understand when people say that, but ultimately we've been built on the fact that it's, hey, bring us your broken, your torn, bring us the people. We will try to ensure that they have a better life. This is something that when we think about the ideas of the American dream, for many Americans, it's not a dream. It's been a nightmare, and that's just the truth. But when you think about it on a global scale, there's a lot that people can do here in terms of sending money back home to their families, getting education, getting degrees, uplifting their economic standards. There's a lot of things that can happen here. And that was really why this country was created. It was like, let's do it in a way that allows people to build business. We're going to open it up. So you're right, when you use the term horrible. And I know many people out there are using the same term. This is not showing the care at all.
Yeah, I mean, every country has to protect its borders. One way or another. Believe me, all the border crossings, even when I was living on the continent of Africa, all the border crossings I went through, I snuck through. You know what I'm saying? It's all good now, though. I've resolved all those issues. But there's a difference between border security and humanity. And, what we see in some of these images coming out there is maybe we could try a better approach at humanity. And these are people oftentimes they're dealing with that came over 5 years ago from Haiti and have been living across Latin America. So we'll continue to follow up on that. Moving along here, keeping it local. Big news was yesterday. We talked about the 3 buildings. The city of Seattle put in some money in the pot and got 3 buildings for actual permanent housing for people experiencing homelessness here in Seattle. Two of the buildings are owned and operated by Lehigh. The third building is Lehigh and YouthCare. And the YouthCare building, 34 beds, is up there on 10th Avenue East, or 10th Avenue, yeah. YouthCare is going to have 34 beds there with wraparound services. And this is for young adults that are experiencing homelessness. And yesterday, I was fortunate enough to talk to Degale Cooper, who is the Chief Operations and Impact Officer. I'm sorry, I said I like that impact officer at YouthCare, so we can learn a little bit more about YouthCare and the new building. Very big day today for YouthCare as the announcement of the 10th Avenue East project. Looks like just over 36 units for young adults that are experiencing homelessness. Man, why don't you tell us all about it?
Sure, absolutely. So we're very excited about this project and to be in partnership with the Low Income Housing Institute here in Seattle. And the Low Income Housing Institute will be providing the space, the actual apartment complex. And what YouthCare will be doing is providing the support to the young adults who will be living there. And so YouthCare, what we do here in our organization is work to end youth homelessness and to ensure that young people are really valued for who they are and empowered to achieve their full potential. We have currently 16 sites where we provide everything from crisis stability housing to transitional housing and permanent housing for young people. Our other resources that we provide to young people are employment and education support, from early job readiness supports to actual placement into jobs. And then we also have specialized services which are focused on providing supports to young people who are LGBTQIA plus and young people who are experiencing human trafficking as well. So we've been around in the community for about 50 years.
Wow, 50 years. That's a long time. Tell me this, what age category is considered young adult?
The young adult population is age 18, and at YouthCare, they cap out at their 25th birthday.
Okay, 18 to 25. How big is the need for this type of housing for the group of people that you serve?
Well, at YouthCare on an annual basis, we serve anywhere from 1,500 to about 1,600 young people. When you look around the city, there are many young people who are between that age of 18 to 25 who are experiencing homelessness. We know that at least in our population, we're looking at over 5,000 young people at any given, between the agencies that serve this age population, that are homeless on any given year.
Right. And what are some of the, I do know, I'm no expert on homelessness, but just covering it, there is a wide range of reasons why people find themselves unhoused or unsheltered or homeless. What are some of the top reasonings why you're finding in the population that you serve?
Well, young people come to us for many reasons. Oftentimes that has to really do with, there's been some breakdown in the family, and young people they don't have the additional resources that they need to connect with other family members. And as we know, a lot of times young people are removed or asked to leave their homes because of their sexual or gender orientations. We find that a lot of young people are leaving systems of care like foster care and the juvenile justice system, and are being transitioned into homelessness. And then one of the other third reasons is the institutional and system failures as well. So we have young people that are slipping through all of the cracks in the safety nets that we've established, and they're not able to access affordable housing. And so for YouthCare, an organization like ours, we're able to catch young people at all of those given stages and to help them either access the crisis emergency housing, the transitional housing, and then the long-term housing, which is more permanent supportive housing.
Wow. I mean, what a wide range of services YouthCare is providing to youth that are finding themselves in the unhoused population or homeless population. I mean, when we think about the need for these kind of spaces, this is the direct ways that we can start to build solutions around our homeless issue right here in our county, in our state, in our city. This is really great, man. I'm glad again that this project is getting some much needed investment.
Yeah, no, YouthCare does a lot of good work, and it was a great conversation that I had with Degale, and we're going to put the full interview online later on today. We're going to take a quick break here shortly, and go in to support Black business, and then after that, we have Dallas Richardson from the United Negro College Fund, from the Portfolio Program. Going to be talking about that, trying to get more of our kids, man, involved in the United Negro College Fund. And I was telling Dallas before the break, I was like, don't worry, you got 2 HBCU heads right here. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006 with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
Are largely in COVID. Small businesses have been almost twice as likely to shutter.
Disproportionately so.
More than half of Black business owners
struggling to obtain federal paycheck protection.
COVID-19 on African Americans. Somehow we always find a way to rise.
To the blueprint builders, to the backbones of every block, to the late night legends and the pioneers of legacy, for the curators of the culture, for the family franchise, and for generations to follow. You might fall, but never fail. Keep rising, keep rising, keep rising. Apply today for a variety of business, marketing, and tech makeovers on us to help your rise.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. Right now, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Support Black business, powered by No Excuses. So today, it's kind of interesting. I'm not really a plant person, although I might go and get a plant now. I learned a lot about plants. But when we were up there at the Link Project, we talked to Vivian from Seeds and Steeze and learned all about Vivian's business. And also, I come to find out there's a plant for every lifestyle.
Seeds and Steeze is an online-based plant shop. We choose to stay online because accessibility really matters to us. I think part of it is that it's our roots, but I think also a lot of people don't know that they love something until they're exposed to it. So that's something that I love to do with the youth as well. We reach back out to the youth and, we provide kids with plants so that they can see that this is something that they actually love. A lot of kids aren't able to experience those things until they're older. I didn't realize that I loved gardening and I loved plants until I was 23 years old. And from then it's just kind of taken off. I grow tomatoes and peppers and all those kinds of things, but I also cultivate houseplants to give back to the community as well. So I think part of it is people are finding that once you had time in the pandemic to raise the plants, to take care of the plants, that they really did love this, and people just never had the opportunity to get into it. So with the houseplant boom, people are buying more houseplants and people are becoming more exposed to it, and people are finding that they really love it. And there's a science behind when most people envision themselves being at peace, being calm, they envision themselves surrounded by nature. And I think having greenery and houseplants in your house brings that bit of peace to your home, especially at a time where it's very trying. We're fighting through a pandemic that's very up and down, up and down. We think we're this close to an end, and then we're pulling back in, and it seems like we're going to go back into quarantine. So people who don't know what's the right houseplant for them, come talk to me. I'm very easy to contact. It all depends on your lighting. It all depends on who you are. I say all the time, I want to sell plants to people that fit their lifestyles. I don't want people to change their lifestyle for plants. Otherwise, you're just going to fail because you're not going to be able to keep with the watering schedule. You're not going to be able to do a lot of things. I myself am a lazy plant parent. So I have a lot of plants that I don't have to water 2 or 3 times a week. I got a cactus, a snake plant, a ZZ plant, lots of succulents, anything you need. Steeze and Steeze is accessible online, seedsandsteeze.com, or you can find us on Instagram, or you can find us at numerous pop-ups. We're often showing up at pop-ups that are centered around Black and brown folks and also the queer community.
Oh, I love this. I'm going to have to check in with Seeds and Steeze. I am looking for a corn plant, not like corn, like stalk of corn, but there's like a whole plant that I want to use for libation. So I'll be reaching out. And like you, Vivian, I don't have a green thumb, and I don't really have any plants in my house. When people give me flowers, that's the maximum of times that I have any type of plant life in my home. So I'm gonna have to reach out, and give me a plan for my lifestyle.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's online business, and a good part of what Seeds and Steeze does as well is they actually give away a lot of plants too. Give away a lot of plants, especially to young people, to teens, things like that. And one thing that we talked about, it didn't quite make the edit, was that a plant sometimes can give, some people need a sense of responsibility. And a plant is an easy kind of, way to start. Hey, I got to go water my plant. I have to go do this for my plant, things like that. So I don't know. I might get a plant.
There we go.
We'll see what happens here. All right. You know what time it is next. It's Black Business Relief. And so yesterday, and I confirmed with Mr. Lewis Rudd over there at Ezell's, and that wrapped up yesterday as far as the application process. The Rudd's Rub, raising up Black businesses. So, man, congratulations to everybody who applied. So many of us just don't apply. And I think it's next month or November, they're going to be announcing the recipients.
Yeah, this is exciting. I know that so many businesses out there were applying. I mean, this is something that, Ezell's is just such a known brand here throughout our region. And the idea is that people knew that this was going to be something that would be beneficial to their business, and that it would come with, not the same strings attached that you may get with other grants, and not even the same barriers in terms of the process. So I think that, they probably got a lot of applicants for this grant. And really, they are able to see that the demand is there, and that the trust is already there. So people are probably like, man, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I needed. A lot of other times we have to jump through so many different hoops in order to get this kind of money directly invested into our business with no strings attached. So I'm excited to hear those results.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Also in Black Business Relief, want to remind everybody that you go to link in bio, in our link in bio, you'll see a few there. Comcast Rise. So Comcast Rise right now, $10,000. It's $1 million altogether for small businesses here in King County and Pierce County. Right now, between now and the end of the month, is a good opportunity for you to go there. Click the link. It's in our link in bio. We'll also put it here in the comments. And you can see all the requirements and everything else to get all your paperwork together. And then the application window is October 1st through the 14th. And so there's a cash grant, but then also marketing services. You might need a TV commercial made, all kinds of stuff like that. Then also the Back Black Business, the coalition there, and that's American Express. You'll also find that link as well in the bio. So we want to continue to bring you these grant opportunities and business opportunities here. It's out there, and sometimes, almost any time, depends on the amount, but they can be impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk about, Converge being a small Black business all the time. And, the ideas of, hey, you may need a new light, you may need, a new piece of equipment, or you may need to be able to hire somebody to, carry something forward. All of the reasons why this money is so important is because it can be utilized in so many different ways. And when I think about these relief supports right now, they understand that they have to be unrestricted dollars. I think that's something also too, where there's some learned lessons learned from past grant opportunities that are too restrict, that are, maybe too specific. And when you're thinking about Black businesses, there's a wide variety of ways that business owners are needing these funds. So I'm loving that these funds are coming down the pike and allowing Black business owners to really take advantage of them all.
Yep, good stuff. We're going to take a break here real quick. We've got Dallas Richardson, United Negro College Fund. It's going to be coming up. Talk about all the good stuff over there, United Negro College Funds, and all you parents, guardians, big mama and them, you know what I'm saying? We need to get aligned with the United Negro College Fund, and Dallas is going to talk about the portfolio program. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and joining me right now is Dallas Richardson with the United Negro College Fund. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be with you all today.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. I mean, UNCF is something that we talk about here often on the Morning Update Show, but also, as Omari stated, we both went to HBCU, so we totally get it and really understand the need for the United Negro College Fund. Before we get into your specific position, what is the United Negro College Fund and how has it been really benefiting HBCUs?
Yes, so UNCF is a national nonprofit organization that helps support HBCUs. It funds 37 HBCUs nationally. And so here in the Pacific Northwest, we like to focus on promoting HBCUs because a lot of times here in the Pacific Northwest, students don't know what a HBCU is. So that is our goal here in the Pacific Northwest.
It's a really smart goal because I think so oftentimes, different parts of the country really have a different relationship with HBCUs. And up here in the Pacific Northwest, we really could benefit from UNCF being direct about messaging to, young people, high schoolers, families, even they understand that there's a pathway for them here. What are some of the things that you guys are able to really educate families on, in particular with HBCUs here in the Pacific Northwest?
So our program is called the UNCF Portfolio Project, and it's an 11-week program that helps 11th and 12th graders through the college application process. Our goal is to help minority students and just expose families to scholarships, expose family to financial aid. And a lot of times students aren't applying applying to school just because they don't have time to do that. So we want to allot our students time to apply to the program and 2 different colleges. We just want to make sure that our students are exposed, and we want to make sure that they have the tools that are necessary to get them to their next step.
Well, one of the things that we've been talking about here is this growing trend. So you are the portfolio project director, yes? And so, you probably have a wealth of knowledge going on right now about this 11-week program, but also the direct connection that students can make to HBCUs, even as they are looking, right? Because I've been telling my son, he's a sophomore, and I'm like, even if you start emailing, admissions officers right now, what are some of the tips you guys have for families?
So we have 4 core focus areas. We go over the college application. We go over scholarships, because a lot of times students aren't applying to scholarships. There's so much money that students leave on the table each and every year. We go over financial aid, and then we also go through the college admission process, seeing what schools fit for you, seeing to make sure that if you want to go in state or out of state, and even knowing how much money you have to spend and you're willing to spend. Especially now, there's just so much going on in the world. Some people want to be close to home. Some people want to go far away. So we want to make sure that our students are picking the best school for them.
Well, one of the things I was talking about was this growing trend of student athletes beginning to look at HBCUs as a real option. And, whether you have some pillars there, that are like, hey, you got National Peace Sun, you got all these now examples of people saying, you know what, I'm going to look at an HBCU as one of my options. How are you guys able to kind of mold your programming and your communication with families based on some of the trends you're seeing out there around HBCU admission?
Well, HBCUs have so much culture. And here, I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I attended Bennett College in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity, because I was not only exposed to the culture, but the family experience that sometimes we miss in the Pacific Northwest. So we just try to let people know that not only you can go to a HBCU if you're an athlete, but you can also go to a HBCU for engineering if you're interested in that. There's so many different programs, even medical programs. We have some awesome people that have graduated from Morehouse or Spelman, and so many different majors. And sometimes that's overlooked, but we still have those same exact programs at HBCUs.
Well, I think that you're really mentioning some really valid points here. I mean, there's a wide spectrum of opportunities that are there at HBCUs for all of these students that are looking for a more cultural experience. And you know what? You can have like a Black student union on your campus, but when it's primarily white or majority white, there's a culture piece that's missing. And so I felt at Howard that was one of the things that I enjoyed so much, was there was a direct injection for me of culture. I mean, immediately it was through, the professors, it was through the activities, it was just campus lifestyle. What are some of the things that you really took away from your HBCU experience that you share with families now?
That just like you're saying, there's so many opportunities at a HBCU. There is not only the culture aspect, but there's so many different clubs you can be a part of. I know my favorite part was just seeing people come from everywhere when you go to a HBCU. So my roommate was from Washington, D.C. Some of my closest friends were from California. Some of my other closest friends were from Virginia. And so I was just exposed to so many different people and so many different parts of life. Also, I love the band at HBCUs. That's one of my favorite parts. And also homecoming. We don't really see that here in the Pacific Northwest. And also Greek life. We don't really see that as well. So being exposed to all those things definitely changed my life. And I changed it for the best.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. you know, being exposed to that environment was so life-changing for me. I love that you're here talking about this program with UNCF. And honestly, I love that UNCF understands that there's a different approach that's necessary when you think about all of the sectors of UNCF across the nation, and that you guys are being intentional to inform families on how they can get connected to HBCUs here. Utilize it as an option, you guys. So you said the program is 11 weeks.
Yes.
And so if a parent or a student is interested in this, what is it that they're to expect throughout that time frame? I mean, you're going over those 4 pillars, and at the end, what is it they really are walking away with?
Yes, great, excellent question. So within that 11 weeks, you are hooked up with a mentor that is on the same career path that you are interested in. Once you complete our program, you will be doing our students always do a presentation where we allow the community to see what they've been working on for that 11 weeks. Also, all of my seniors that complete the program is eligible for the UNCF Portfolio Project Scholarship. So that's the biggest thing. And for 4 years, you can apply for that scholarship. So once you complete our program for the next 4 years, you're always eligible for that pot of money.
Wow. And what is the amount of the scholarship?
So it varies each year, depending on our sponsors. But my students this year was allotted $2,500 to $5,000.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really awesome. And, you know, I deal with a son who is a student athlete. He's been in basketball since 2nd grade. I think about how rigorous his schedule is. How accessible is this 11-week program for a student who may be involved in student government or other programs outside of school? Maybe they have a part-time job and they're doing maybe athletics. You know, a lot is on these students nowadays. How accessible is this program for those students to try to access?
Yes, so we understand that high schoolers are definitely busy. So this year we are virtual. My program starts with orientation the 25th. I've actually extended the application if you are currently interested. And it's from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, every Saturday for the next 11 weeks. And we are flexible with student schedules. If you have to miss a session, all you have to do is reach out to me, and we'll make sure that you get that information. So we definitely try to be accessible to students and help with their schedule.
You know, that's so important. And once again, another cultural piece, I feel like, because, you know, we talk about, you know, it has to be this way, it has to fit in this box, but that doesn't always work for our families. And so being able to be flexible and fluid with people's schedules is really important. Man, Dallas, I love that you guys are doing this. If families out there are interested, how do they get in touch with you? How do they apply? If students are like, hey, I'm a junior, I'm a senior, I need on with that. How can they apply?
Yes, so if you are interested in the UNCF Portfolio Project, I'm looking for 11th and 12th grade students. You can visit the UNCF website, UNCF Seattle. It's called Portfolio Project. I'm also looking for mentors, people that are excited and motivated to just influence our students for their next step. So please visit the website, please apply, and the application has been extended.
Amazing. Dallas Richardson with UNCF, letting us know how to get connected to the Portfolio Project. Appreciate you joining us on the Morning Update Show today.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. This was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys, we are going to be taking a short break right now, and I'll be bringing my co-host Big O back onto the set. Please stay tuned. Thanks for watching the Morning Update Show.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday, and that was a really great interview with Dallas. Bringing in my guy, Big O, back to the set.
Yeah, no, Dallas is on point, and it's important, and we want to challenge, you parents, guardians, caregivers out there, high school juniors and seniors, like, man, let's be intentional. And the thing is the HBCUs, it's the wave, man. Everybody, this is the highest attendance. I think people are tired of sending their kids to colleges where their kids have to justify their existence and some everything else. Best in my HBCU experience is, man, I felt loved on campus, whether it was the people who managed the dorms or the cafeteria or grounds crew, of course, the professors. Everybody was just there for my success. And so an amazing experience. So we want to continue to uplift the United Negro College Fund. We got a few minutes left here. We got a press release. This has just come out now. This is over from Dana Robertson Sloat over at Council Communications. Council President Gonzalez, excuse me. Council President Gonzalez and Budget Chair Mosqueda concur with the appointment of Royal Alley Barnes as interim director of the Office of Arts and Culture. Call on Mayor to collaboratively work with Arts Commission and priorities. And hey, it looks like they've worked this out. The interesting thing about this press release, it's very long. Royal Alley Barnes is hardly mentioned in here, but one sentence. So basically, in this press release that goes out, man, what needs to happen for just Black person to just get uplifted and that just be it? So they send this long press release here talking about how Council President Gonzalez and Budget Chair Mosqueda concur with appointment of Royal Alley Barnes, but they use the whole press release to talk about how they disagree with the mayor. How about you guys send a press release to uplift this woman and her career works? You're using the government platform here. You know what I'm saying? You're sending it out through Council Communications. Why not put some paragraphs in there like, oh, well, man, she's done this and she's done that. And she's the director emeritus and she was a Black Panther back in the day and she helped launch this art project and she's internationally known. They just use this as an opportunity to get us Black folk, continue to be caught up in their political struggle. And you guys have missed a great opportunity right now. You've missed a great opportunity over there at City Council to just send a release to uplift this Black woman. You missed you just politicized it even more. You know what I'm saying? Send another release later on. If you want to sit there, the mayor did this, the mayor did that. Man, you guys fight that out. Why can't this Black woman just get her moment in the sun?
The iron is striking hot over here, y'all. And
we get played.
Yeah.
We get played. Us Black folk always get caught in the middle. You guys over there in City Hall. Us Black folk always get played in the middle over there. Oh, you know what? We want to go do this. We're going to go do that. And Black folks get caught up in the middle. They missed a perfect opportunity. It cost them nothing to just uplift this Black woman. But instead, they just throw her name in a press release to try and end a battle with the mayor.
You know what? This has been a story that we started last week, understanding when the first press release was dropped and the mayor wanted to appoint Royal. And honestly, this is one of those things, Omari, you're right, because it was like a pebble that was dropped in the water. And then there's these rippling effects because there was the Arts Commission already doing work. Now you have it to say it's like, hey, work with the Arts Commission. But you're right, at the end of the day, this is about being able to uplift the amazing work and the legacy of Royal Alley Barnes. And honestly, the fact that the Arts Commission was able to come to grips and talk to Royal and actually work that out amongst themselves, that's really the beauty of the story here. But it's unfortunate that this press release is not used to uplift any of that.
Yeah, I don't believe none of them people. I'm gonna just be clear. All these guys got their game and they got their agenda and they're putting out their narrative. But the end result of it is that this Black woman right here, when every stakeholder here has had an opportunity to just uplift this Black woman. But they stay on their narrative, they stay on their agenda and everything else. You know what I'm saying? You guys continue to play yourself and you think people don't see. You don't think people can read through this long ass press release here and see that what it's all about? It's definitely not about uplifting Royal. Man, it's top of the hour, Trey. Any last words?
My last words always, man, see yourself as part of the solution. It's necessary. And when we talk about really awakening ourselves from the same age-old tactics that have always played us in these ways that Omar is describing, it is necessary for us to find new pathways forward so that unity can really be happening and we can all be a part of some amazing solutions. So please, as Dallas has done with UNCF, find yourself as a part of an amazing solution.
All right, that's what's up. Tuesday, no programming tonight. We got the restream at 8 o'clock. We're back tomorrow. So until then, go forward in your purpose. That's your why, Chief. There you go. Go forward in your purpose. Go forward in your humanity. Till tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.